science fiction serial for radio, written by Steve Gallagher. Episode 1.
The Hotel Babylon greets you and wishes you a pleasant stay. Please disembark from your craft and move through into the reception lobby as soon as possible. Babylon's own pilots will move your spacecraft to one of our parking zones and supervise the transport of your luggage.
The Hotel Babylon greets you and wishes you a pleasant stay. Please disembark from your craft and move through into the reception lobby as soon as possible. Babylon's own pilots will move your spacecraft to one of our parking zones and supervise the transport of your luggage.
The Hotel Babylon greets you and wishes you a pleasant stay. Please disembark from your craft and move through into the reception lobby as soon as possible. Babylon's own pilots.
Maintenance control alert. All available maintenance engineers report to Dock 215 for emergency assessment of damaged spacecraft. The Hotel Babylon greets you and wishes you a pleasant maintenance stay. Control alert. All available maintenance engineers report to Dock 215 for emergency assessment of damaged spacecraft. Babylon's own pilots will move your spacecraft to one of our parking zones and supervise the maintenance control alert. All available maintenance engineers report to Dock 215 for emergency assessment of damaged spacecraft.
Welcome to the Hotel Babylon. You are now in the docking hangar and within the territorial jurisdiction of the Babylon asteroid, the nearest orbiting object to the spectacular red sun at the heart of the dead system of Persephone. The dim fires of Persephone itself will warm and thrill you as you gaze down from your suite on the boiling gases below, secure in a complex which is strengthened by the rock structures of the asteroid. No comfort is overlooked, no pleasure beyond reach. The Hotel Babylon exists only for your recreation. Please move through into the reception area where our staff will be waiting to meet you.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Where the hell's Persephone?
I don't know. I'm damn sure it's nowhere along the course we were following.
Who cares? We got here in one piece, didn't we?
Well, speak for yourself. I feel like I've been stuffed into a dog's basket for the last 15 hours.
Come on, Kyle. This ship isn't built to go dropping through black holes, and you know it.
Not with these antique crash bubbles as the only protection for the crew, it isn't.
What about the spacers down below? All they've got is webbing.
Who cares about spacers? Call the iceberg.
Who?
Call the captain.
Why?
Tell you we're in one piece.
So who cares about bridge officers?
Scordia? Kyle? Anybody alive down there?
I'm alive and Kyle's complaining, so I guess that means he's okay.
I'm not joking. We were too wide for the black hole. We left a chunk of the hull behind.
How the hell did we manage that?
Not out of choice, I assure you. The gravity field just peeled it off us as we squeezed through.
Any idea of where the hole through is out?
Well, you've heard as much as I have. The Hotel Babylon in the system of Persephone, wherever that is.
Sounds like a fun place for a stopover anyway.
I'm glad you think so. While you're about it, you can be thinking about who's going to pay for all this.
Well, aren't we insured?
Not at the rates we'd need to support us in a rich man's paradise.
So we'll move out to somewhere cheaper.
Well, like where? You heard the drivel on the greetings tape. We're on an asteroid hotel in a dead system, and we're sitting in half a ship. They can screw us for everything we've got.
Which isn't much, so why worry?
I'm the captain. It's my job to worry. You two monkeys get onto your jobs and check the passengers. I'm going to have another try at raising some reply from the hotel.
Monkeys.
It explains why they pay us peanuts.
Look, it's not going to take both of us to do the rounds. Why don't you get after her and find out what she's playing at?
We know what she's playing at. She's trying to raise the hotel. She doesn't need help for that.
She needs careful instructions to get all her fingers in her gloves. Just go and look over her shoulder, make sure she's got the right key open.
I know what you're after. You want to go and help that girl Taya out of her crash bubble. Some excuse to get your hands all over her.
I probably won't need much of an excuse. I can't see that dried-up shrimp kitty veil giving her much fun on the voyage so far. She'll probably drag me into the bubble with her.
I'd rather take my chances back through the black hole. The kid's a vamp.
What?
A gold digger. You just put your finger on it. The only thing that Kittyvale can offer her is his money.
So she can have his money and my body. Then everyone's happy.
I can't bear to watch you drooling like this. You check the passengers, I'll join the captain.
I'll check them both. Especially Ted.
Captain? Ella?
Hi, Scort. Where's your slimy friend?
Kyle's doing his PR act with our employers. I came out to see how you were getting on.
I suppose he told you I wouldn't be able to manage alone.
No, nothing like that.
No, he's a creep and a sexist throwback. And I know all about the petition he tried to get up against me last tour.
You heard about that?
I heard you wouldn't sign it as well. There's not much I miss around here. Look, I can't get past this damn door.
Where does it lead?
Out of the dock and into the reception lobby. At least it's supposed to. But it's not opening. Try it.
The Babylon management apologizes, but there are certain formalities which must be cleared before you may be admitted. Please bear with us, and we'll get them out of the way as soon as we can.
What formalities?
God only knows. I tried calling from the ship, but nobody answered. Nobody's talking to us except these damn machines. Every time I hit the plate, it's the same.
The Babylon management apologizes, but there are certain formalities which must be cleared before you may be admitted.
See what I mean?
Please bear with us.
A crippled
We'll
ship
get them
comes
out of
limping
the
in with
way
no
as
warning.
soon as
We
can.
popped into existence from somewhere on the other side of the galaxy with our computers set to head for the nearest safe settlement, and nobody even comes to take a look. That warning that sounded when we first pulled in, there should have been a team of maintenance engineers checking us out by now. Damn it, Scort, we could blow up and take half the asteroid with us, and they're not even showing an interest.
Maybe they're checking to see if we're rich enough to get in.
Forget it, then.
It's probably something really simple.
Well, simple or not, it stinks. Nobody hedges when a ship in distress appears.
Why not get Kittyvale out to speak to them? If he's rich enough to charter us, they should be on the same wavelength.
I'm not so sure about Kittyvale.
What do you mean?
I mean, he hasn't got the manners or the confidence of a playboy.
At his age and with his money, who needs them?
His age I can't argue with, but I think the money's bluff.
Bluff?
Gilt-edged bluff. That security bag he carries around, the one he used to pay the charter deposit. He makes out it's full of currency crystals. I think it's empty.
You've seen inside it?
No. I got curious and made a check as we were setting off. One of the casinos in Vegas was missing a cashier and a good time girl from the cocktail bar. The amount they made off with was barely enough to cover our deposit.
What? You mean we're transporting a couple of cheapskate crooks and treating them like millionaires?
We might be. It's just a suspicion. Nothing I can prove. Yet.
The agents will love this.
Kyle will probably send them a petition about it, recommending himself as my replacement, naturally.
I wouldn't worry about him.
I don't. Sometime he'll slip up, then he won't know what's hit him. All that's worrying me is why are we sitting here on the outside when we should be in the hotel?
The Babylon management apologizes, but there are certain formalities which must be cleared before you may be admitted. Please bear with us, and we'll get them out of the way as soon as we can.
Are you feeling any better?
No. I feel like my lungs are inside out.
I won't be a minute. Somebody's calling.
It's about time.
All right, I'm coming.
Everybody all right in here?
What does it sound like?
Sounds like somebody's trying to turn his lungs inside out.
I'm glad you think it's funny.
Be glad we're all alive instead. What about you?
I'm fine.
I can see that.
What's been going on here? Nobody's told us anything.
Just to get strapped in and pray. Are all your charter voyages like this, Mr. Kyle?
The company isn't always so pleasant, and it's pretty rare to lose half our drive capability on the way.
Lose what? Look, why didn't you tell us about this?
I'm telling you now. We had some kind of fault, an explosion and a short fire back in the drive service section. Nobody knows what went or what caused it. All we could tell was that we hadn't a hope of reaching a fraction of our target speed. At our top rate, it would have taken us 50 years to reach the nearest inhabited system.
Why not sit tight and call for rescue?
That would bring it down to 30 years. Message travel's limited by light speed.
So, what did we do? Where are we now?
We took a gamble. We looked for the nearest dark star and jumped into it.
Did that answer the question?
A black hole's got a massive gravity field. You know that time and space are two different expressions of a single concept.
What?
It's basic Einstein, whoever he was.
Time and space are both affected in the presence of gravity. They're all locked together. You can't define one without the other two, and when one bends, the others bend with it.
Just cut the degree course and tell us what happened.
A black hole causes a massive local distortion of the normal shape of space-time. We dropped through the fringe of this and popped out in another part of the universe. We had the ship's computer run through all the possible options and pick us somewhere we'd have a good chance of reaching.
Which is?
The Hotel Babylon in the system of Persephone, wherever the hell that is. And don't ask me where it is, because it's way off my sector.
How long before we can get back on the way to Porphyria?
No way I can say. We were damaged before we went into the hole, and we were more damaged when we came out. Left a fair piece of the ship behind. I doubt we could do much more than limp between moons.
What are we talking about? Hours? Days?
Could be months.
Months?
Well, standard ones anyway. I don't know what the local periods are. You don't seem to realize we've made it through a major disaster here, and all you've got out of it is a good shaking and the dry heaves. Just to make things perfect, you haven't even been dumped on some stinkpot of a munitions planet or a farmer's moon thigh-deep in cow dung. You've rolled up in the foyer of a luxury hotel. I'm going the diplomatic way about it, but the point I'm trying to make is that it's a cue for relief and celebration, and not a Greek chorus.
Greek chorus?
Greeks, they're big lizards on Epsilon 5. Make the most god-awful racket you ever heard.
I'll sue.
Really?
Yeah, and don't try to persuade me otherwise.
That's your right, I suppose, of course. I suppose you'll be citing captain's negligence.
Is that the usual form?
Captain has to carry the can for whatever happens to the ship.
Then that's what I'll do.
Well, I'm pleased to see you're taking such a positive attitude. When you're ready, make your way through to the reception lobby. Scotty and the captain are up there already. I'll be joining them when I've checked on the spacers. I wouldn't mention the legal business right now, not to the captain. She'll have plenty on her mind as it is. You want any advice, just come to me. See you later.
Well, that's it. We're not going to get away with it.
And what makes you so optimistic?
Now, you heard him. A luxury hotel. Bet you can't even breathe without credit.
That's no reason to go jumping out of the airlock.
Oh, we had a good run out of it, but did you ever really think we could get away?
Now, just a minute, Kitty Vale. I've not come this far just to give in and turn back. What do you think they'll have waiting for us if we get dragged back to Vegas?
We could offer to return the credit.
We couldn't live 3 lifetimes and hope to repay what we took in that rigged game. Cashiers and cocktail hoppers just don't pull that kind of money. We both wanted to get out, and we're out. No way am I going back.
We've got barely enough to pay off the charter.
Forget that. We pay them nothing after what's happened.
So we can afford maybe a week at Hotel Babylon prices.
A week to plan the next move we make. Who cares about Porphyria? It was just a name picked off a chart.
But how are we going to live?
It's a hotel, right? And hotels have casinos. What we did once, we can do again.
And run again?
Yes, and run again. Oh. What's the matter with that? We did it before. We'll improve with practice.
Where's it all going to end?
When we fall over and die like everything else. You make me sick. You want your whole life mapped out and handed to you in a package. Regular savings in the pension scheme were invented for people like you.
All right. I'll do whatever you say.
I think you've missed the point, but it's a start. Get the crystals, and we'll go on up to the lobby.
On your feet, spacers.
Up yours, Kyle.
Yeah, shove it, Kyle.
Glad to see everybody's happy. Where's Willis?
Who cares?
He's monkeying with the computer lash-up you had him do. The one that nearly got us all killed.
You want to make a complaint, make it formal, and make sure you spell the captain's name right. She's sensitive. Sarret, go and get Willis.
Why?
So you can all pool your knowledge and reach half-wit status, and because I've got officer stripes and you're a spacer. Also because you've got to haul your backsides up to the hotel lobby for the free drinks and peanuts.
Free drinks?
You stay where you are. I want to talk to you. Move it, Sarret.
Yeah, jumped up little creep.
I heard a 2-syllable word somewhere in there. You're improving. All right, Kane. What the hell went wrong?
We had a bit of an accident.
Damn right we did. You were supposed to foul up the drive enough to slow us down, not blow the back end of the ship away.
I didn't exactly plan it like that. The computer kicked in with a course correction while I had the dampers out. The tube started to overheat, so the damn machine jettisoned the drive. It happened so fast there was nothing I could do.
So we end up doing a black hole drop, and Ella Desmond saves the day with a plan that's a shade more chancy than suicide.
Maybe you can still make her look bad.
What, after this? I can do my best. There's not much hope. Not when Kitty Vale thinks it through and comes to the conclusion that she saved his neck. That kind of consideration can be awfully persuasive when you're giving character references.
What are you going to do now?
Let it all blow over and wait for another chance. The agents have got short memories. All we need is a few charters brought in over budget, a few deadlines missed, nothing obvious.
You'll still need me.
What's the matter? You feeling unwanted?
I'm feeling insolvent.
It's likely to persist. And if you don't like it, just remember who it was had the dampers out when we waved goodbye to the number 2 tube.
I've been talking to Sarah, like you said.
And?
He's with us. Same conditions as me. Full share in the rackets we set up when you get command. Drugs, spice, everything.
What about Willis?
I haven't talked to Willis.
When are you going to?
I'm not.
But I thought you said...
Look, Kyle, let's leave Willis out of it. There's something strange about him, and I don't know what it is. The less I have to do with him, the better I like it.
I'd be happier with all the spacers behind me.
Yeah, well, in a perfect world, maybe that's the kind of thing you can hope for. Right now, you'll have to make do with Sarah and me. What about Scordia?
He's my problem. I'll do him up at the same time as Captain Desmond.
When?
I'm watching for the chance. Might turn up while we're at the hotel. Might be later.
If you're lining up something kind of final, you could think of including Kitty Vale as well.
Why?
He's greased.
Anybody who can charter an inter-system cruiser all to himself has got to be well off.
Yeah, but they don't all lug it around with them in negotiable crystals, right?
All right, I'll think about it.
Do that. Now, where are the free drinks?
What about the other 2?
They can find their own way.
Right. Fine.
Hey, Scott.
What?
Why aren't they letting us in?
We are in.
Only if you want to get technical. Are they afraid we'll mess up the carpets?
I don't know what's happening. The captain's trying to raise somebody to speak to us, but so far there's nothing. The doors just don't open. Hi, Willis.
Mr. Scott here.
Everything okay with the computer hookup in the ship?
Well, good as you can expect after what we went through. I broke it all down again.
Shame. I wanted to take a look at the rig that saved all our lives.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. I'm thanking you.
Scortia, over here a minute.
See you later.
Damn quick job you did. Getting everything pulled apart like that.
I like to keep everything neat.
Almost like you didn't want anybody else to get sight of it close up.
Why should I want to do that?
I'm wondering. Couldn't be that you built a bias into the selection system, could it? Something that would give you some control over where we ended up.
Captain asked me for a fast program to make a random selection for the safest option, the one that was most accessible. That's all I did.
Yeah, but what I'm wondering is, how come the safest and most accessible target happens to be over on the far side of the galaxy from where we are headed?
Oh, don't ask me, ask the computer.
Too damn late now, isn't it? You've dismantled the links in the program.
I like everything.
Neat, yeah. Too damn neat, Willis.
Praise yourself. I do my job, that's all.
Please disembark from your craft.
Any progress?
Not an inch. I keep calling for somebody who knows what's happening, but there's still no reply.
I don't get it. Big hotel and no service. It doesn't add up.
Maybe we were supposed to use the tradesman's entrance.
They must know the state we're in. Scordia, break it down.
What?
The door. Get us in somehow.
But it's a steel-plate airlock.
I'm not saying you should put your shoulder to it. Just find a way to get us through.
Sure. Any ideas, Kyle?
Put a spacer onto it.
Right.
Make it Willis. He's good at the unorthodox stuff.
Willis!
I hope you're enjoying this, Kyle.
What makes you say that, Captain?
Not one of my paranoid fantasies. Make a note of it.
Something I can do?
Yeah, take a look at this door, will you? See if there's any way we can get it open from this side.
What have you tried so far?
Banging my head against it, mainly.
And that didn't work?
Just get on with it, Spacer.
Yes, boss.
To one of our parking zones and supervise the transport of your luggage.
Did you hear the captain?
Hear what?
She's getting some kind of complex. She thinks everybody's against her.
Not everybody, just you. And that's not a complex, that's being perceptive. Why can't you just lay off for a while? She's made some damn good decisions on this trip. She deserves better.
Yeah. That's what bothers me.
Need a hand with that, Willis?
I can manage.
Can you do it?
Yeah, sure I can do it. The hard part is getting the plate off. Cheap work always gives you problems.
Cheap work? In a place like this?
That's always the way. Expensive tinsel and lies. And nobody knowing what's underneath. I mean, look at this.
Good work, Willis. Follow us through when you've cleared up.
What's the secret of your success, Willis?
Irregular features and a lack of education.
You think somebody's out to impress us?
They managed it.
Elegance by the yard. What kind of people spend their lives in places like this?
Not our kind.
And this is only the lobby. What's the rest of it going to be like?
And, how's the captain going to justify the expense?
Don't encourage me to evil thoughts.
Kittyvale and Tear are just leaving the ship. Where's the captain?
Over by the comm point, still trying to get an answer from somebody.
Any luck?
Ask her.
This is Ella Desmond of the private charter, Spotter. Something funny?
No, sorry.
I still can't raise anyone. It's like the place was deserted.
Maybe it is.
It can't be. There are lights, music, fresh air. If you pull out of a place like this, you put it under wraps. You don't leave it to run itself down.
But so far, we've only seen the dock and the lobby. Look at all those archways down the side walls. All dark.
Hey, look what happened.
All dark except one.
The lights came on as soon as Sarrett stepped through the arch.
Everything must be rigged to sensors. Body heat or biocapacitance, something like that. You'd never need to switch on a light.
It sounds typical of this kind of place. You spend a fortune to save yourself some tiny effort.
Well, maybe everything's sensor-linked, even the music.
Dreary stuff. I wish it would stop. Hey.
Well, somebody seems to be listening.
Yeah. But who?
Get everybody down here. It's time we found out what the Hotel Babylon's all about.
I told you, don't tremble. You're supposed to be a rich playboy. You're supposed to be in your element here.
I don't feel anything like a rich playboy.
You don't look anything like one either. Fake it.
I'm going to be sick.
You're going to be strangled.
Look at the place. It's bigger than anything we ever saw in Vegas. What are we going to do?
We're going to survive. Now, that's not too ambitious, is it?
This is Scortier calling the lobby. Have I pressed the right damn button yet?
Hearing you, Scort. What have you found?
More lobbies. Exactly like the one we started from. They're strung out all in a line, and everyone's got an airlock door. Well, presumably there's a spacecraft dock on the other side. I can't open it to see.
The spacers are checking on that territory, so don't worry about it. Any sign of the place being lived in?
Nothing.
Okay. Keep looking. Is there a problem, Captain? You might call it that, but there's no actual danger. Only that we seem to be the only people in the hotel.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I can't actually think of any other way of putting it. Are you all right?
The fresh air makes him lightheaded.
Where are the others? I've split everybody up, given them different areas to search. Scortier's covering this level. Kyle and Sarrett are above. Kane and Willis are below. Nobody's seen anything to suggest we're not alone. And more to the point, there is nothing to suggest why it should be that way. Excuse me. Hearing you.
Willis here.
You found something?
Not really. I'm down on the utility levels. They go for miles. There's lots of bays and service areas, but no ships, other than ours. There's a network of service passages linking everything together, and I found some crew quarters, but they're all cleaned out.
Still the same picture, then.
But why?
Well, maybe the place went bust. Once you've woken up to one red sun, you've seen them all.
I don't think so.
Why not?
A couple of things. First, you notice how fresh the air is.
Everybody has.
So, why? None of the rooms comes alive unless somebody steps into them. And that goes for the air recirculation as well. If the Babylon had been empty for any length of time, it would have been as stale as ditch water for the first half hour or so. But it isn't.
Anything else?
Oh, lots of things. Hot water in the pipes, no dust, no fungus. I'd say the place has been cleared sometime during the past couple of days.
I see. Any idea why, Willis?
Yeah. I'll have to ask somebody else.
There is nobody.
What about the Babylon?
I've been trying since we arrived.
You've been trying to get hold of somebody on the staff. I'm saying you should talk to the hotel direct.
You think that would work?
It might. The Babylon certainly seems to be aware of us.
Just give me a minute, will you? Ella Desmond of the Spotter requesting to speak to the Hotel Babylon.
At your service, Miss Desmond.
Wow.
Can you give me some information?
It will be my pleasure. I exist to serve.
I've noticed. I couldn't help noticing. Well, there don't seem to be any guests around the place.
The Hotel Babylon takes pride in its exclusivity.
And no staff, either.
Our staff are selected and trained for their ability to remain discreet and unobtrusive.
In fact, there's nobody in the damn place but us.
You are most observant, Miss Desmond.
Mind telling me why?
It's nothing you should worry about.
Let's say I'm curious.
Everything's in hand.
Curious to the extent that my stay is being spoiled.
That would never do. I reassure you, there is plenty of time.
Time for what?
To withdraw to a place of safety as the others have done. The meteor strike, which will destroy the hotel, is unlikely to occur for at least 20 hours.
So Ella, Captain Desmond, has told you why we found the Hotel Babylon so recently deserted. At the moment, we've no way of verifying the likelihood of the meteor strike, but until we see anything that tells us otherwise, there's no reason to doubt it.
Mr. Scortia has been pulling some information out of the computer for us.
Mainly about the Persephone system. You want it all?
Might as well. Get it all laid out and see if anybody can throw in a suggestion.
Well, it's not so good. It looks like we couldn't have picked a bleaker spot to maroon ourselves in.
You're kidding. With that hotel out there?
The Hotel Babylon's the only inhabited body in the entire system. There was one livable planet, but it was cleared more than 200 years ago.
Cleared? Why?
Because 200 years ago, Persephone was selected as one of the systems to form a buffer belt between the trading states and the free systems. We've managed to drop ourselves right into the no-man's land between the two big power blocks in the known galaxy.
Wonderful.
What kind of no-man's land is it that has luxury hotels?
I don't know exactly how it came to be here. Presumably the owners pay dues to both sides. And maybe the top party men from the free systems like to sneak over when nobody's looking.
Wouldn't surprise me.
What about this planet?
Some land, a lot of ice and water, not much else.
How does it figure with the meteor?
Well, I don't know yet. We're not getting any sensor information here inside the dock, so I've got the computer combing back through our approach records to build up a composite picture and a prognosis. It shouldn't take much longer.
What I'm getting at is, will the Sparta be able to get us there?
It may have to. We know we're airtight, and we know we've got some drive, and well, that's about it.
What about moving the hotel?
We can assume it's not possible. Otherwise, the owners wouldn't have abandoned it.
On this point of the Sparta's navigability, right after the meeting, I want the spacers to get below and do a complete check. I don't see Willis.
Not back yet.
Well, I want a full report on what's in one piece and what can be patched. And I don't want the usual displays of doubt and horror and head shaking. I want a decent line on what's possible in the time we've got. Anybody want to say anything?
Nothing I wouldn't get hung for.
Okay, let's break it up. Mr. Kyle, start a bridge systems check.
Yes, ma'am.
Scortia, come with me and we'll take a look at what's left of the drive.
Okay.
What does she think a warp drive is?
Well, that's what you always get from the officers.
Captain,
Yes?
I feel useless. Is there anything we can do?
What did you have in mind?
I don't know. Anything.
If we had a bar, you could mix us some cocktails. Other than that, I think you'd find it too technical.
You know who we are.
You don't hide it well enough.
Will you turn us in?
That's a bit academic right now, isn't it? Anyway, the law won't be after you. I happen to know the casinos make a point of following up their own grievances. The only thing that would have worried me was if you hadn't embezzled enough to settle your charter bill.
We had enough. We may be frauds, but we're not dishonest.
Tell you what. Go see if you can find Willis. Warn him that we'll be moving as soon as we can and tell him he's needed below decks.
Oh, anything for Kitty Vale?
If he can sit still without falling over, we'll count it as a victory.
Kane, over here.
I've got to get to the dry tubes. I've got to cover my tracks before anybody gets a close look.
Get Sarat onto it, and then meet me up on the bridge. Make it fast.
What are you planning?
If we tie this up right, we can dump Scotia and the captain and find a way of prizing Kittyvale loose from his crystals. All we have to worry about is the story we put together for the agents.
Come on, Kyle. This isn't the time to play about.
It's exactly the time. Brief Sarat, then get up on the bridge and make it fast.
Spacer Willis of the Sparta to speak to the Hotel Babylon.
Did you say Spacer Willis?
That's right.
Beat it, Slug. Tradesman down in the service quarters, and don't mess up the carpet as you go.
I'm not a tradesman.
Spacer's bad enough. Get yourself out of here before the paying guests start to complain.
What if I told you I was a paying guest?
I'd laugh myself sick. You couldn't afford to spit in a place like the Babylon.
I'm an eccentric millionaire.
A what?
An eccentric millionaire.
Ah. You mean loaded, but not entirely compos mentis.
That's what I said.
But not in the register. Beat it, Slug.
Well, maybe I'm just weighing the place up, see if I want to check in. See if I want to recommend it to all my eccentric millionaire friends.
You know, you're giving me a problem.
Why?
I've got programs for most occasions, but nothing for this. Once you're in the register, you can be a slob or a bum or anything you like, and I've got to creep to you. Otherwise, you've got to be obviously dripping with it. And you aren't.
That's my eccentricity.
But you see the difficulty. Now, if you'll only register, I can slobber all over you. Otherwise, I can only tell you to take an EVA without a helmet.
You cooperated with the captain?
Captains are different. Spacers are trash. Eccentric millionaires accepted, of course.
Naturally.
Now, if you'd like to register...
How can I be sure you've got room?
I can check.
Go on, then.
I just did. We've a selection of apartments available. May I particularly recommend one of our sunrise suites with a triple pressure window giving a spectacular view of the burning rim of Persephone.
Eccentric millionaires are immune to sales talk. Just tell me what's already taken.
Well, it's slow season.
How many suites?
Exactly?
An approximation will be fine.
Not many.
Numbers?
None.
Now. Why is that?
You're playing about with me. You heard me tell the captain about the meteor.
Yes, and it came out too damn slick. I've spent lifetimes around machines like you. I can strip you and I can fix you, and I know when you're lying.
I wasn't lying.
Or maybe just bending the truth a little to stop the guests from panicking. A direct meteor hit on the speck of an asteroid the size of the Babylon. Do you know what the odds against that are?
You want me to work them out?
Don't bother, just tell me the truth.
It's not actually a meteor, but we don't know what it is. It's artificial, and it seems to be set on burning itself up in Persephone. It won't actually hit the Babylon, but it will pass close enough to draw us in after.
What else did you hold back?
Nothing.
And what about that 20-hour estimate?
It was close.
How close?
Within 60%.
You call that close? 32 hours?
The other way, actually. More like 12.
And why didn't you warn us straight away? Why keep us waiting around in the dock?
Management instructions. You were supposed to register, and then you'd be told. That way, they could claim the deposit when you left early.
Except that there was nobody around to let us in, and the system froze up.
That's the kind of shock it takes to run an outfit like this. Vegas was full of them.
What are you doing here?
The captain sent me. She wants all the spacers back on the ship to work on patching it together.
Oh, it's as good as it'll ever be without a complete refit. There's nothing more we could do.
I think she's hoping you'll work a miracle. She was pretty impressed with the job you did to navigate us through the black hole.
Well, there's enough of the drive left to get the Sparta to safety. After that, she'll just have to hope that the Babylon people come back and see if there's anything to salvage.
You coming down?
A couple of things to do first.
Like what?
Carry on. I'll follow.
Oh. Sure.
Where's Kyle?
I don't know. Last I saw, he was heading this way.
He's supposed to be checking the bridge systems.
Well, maybe he's finished.
Like hell. Get the panel warmed up. We'll go ahead without him.
So you think it's promising?
I don't know. It's alien territory to me down there with all the technical gear. If Sarek says we can move it, I have to believe him. What's the matter?
I don't know. Something wrong with the console.
Punch up the fault finder.
Nothing happens.
Have we got power?
Well, there's power, but half the systems aren't lighting. I don't know why.
Check the wafers.
The what?
Raise the console cover and check the system's programming wafers. Cut the power first.
Something's wrong here. The cover wasn't locked down.
More than that. Kyle was here before us.
Some of the wafers are missing.
Gyros, retros, sublight orientation. Without these programs, we haven't got a ship.
But why should Kyle want to remove them? I mean, look, he's even...
What did you do?
Something was live. I must have touched it.
What did you touch? The power's supposed to be off.
I don't know. Something around there.
Well, those are the safety indicators. They are in a separate power source. Oh, there's the unshielded contact anyway. Let me just clamp it down. Squirt, take a look over the top and tell me if anything's lit.
The drive damper warning lights are on. Nothing else.
We'll have to assume that Kyle disconnected them.
But why?
He's taken the wafers. He's the most obvious suspect.
No, I mean, why do it at all?
Because he's been rigging something all along. That's why. Don't ask me what. I can't begin to guess at how his twisted little mind works.
But if the damper warning circuit's alive...
It means that somebody's got the dampers out to mess with the drive right now. And they don't want us to know.
It must be a spacer. Kyle wouldn't know how.
Whoever it is, he'll be carrying his teeth around in a paper bag when I'm finished with it. I told you. Somebody's messing with the drive.
They can't be. That's the tube we lost. There's nothing inside.
So why the laser burner? And who is it, anyway?
I think it's Sarret.
Right. Let's get some answers out of him.
Don't surprise him. Not while he's running the burner.
Sarret, drop the damn burner and get out of there.
Get back from the tube. The laser's bouncing.
Ah! Oh! Stop him, Squirt. He's climbing out. Slam the hatch on him. Oh.
He'll be fried before he can burn his way out. Give him a couple of minutes and we can heave him through and get some answers. Where are you hit?
My leg. It isn't deep, but Christ, it hurts.
Shall I carry you up to the first aid point?
Well, when I go, I'll hop. Right now, I'm hanging on until Sarret's done his boiled lobster act.
He was burning off the damper heads at the end of the shaft.
It couldn't have been. They were dumped along with the drive tube when we jettisoned it.
Apparently not, which could only mean...
The dampers weren't connected in. There was nothing to stop the tube overheating when it fired up.
That's right, and we couldn't know on the bridge because the warning circuits had been cut.
Kyle, he was planning something and he screwed it up.
Well, it sounds like Sarret's finally made it too hot for comfort in there.
Give him a few more seconds before you let him out. And arm yourself with something.
This should do it. Ready?
Okay. Open the hatch.
Unusual color, isn't it?
Get me the burner, Squirt.
He had 2 of the damper heads off. Another 10 minutes and we'd never have known. Here. Still plenty of charge.
All right, Sarret. Either you give us some answers or I'm going to turn you into a dragon's Kleenex. And if you think my normal sweet nature and sunny disposition will make that difficult for me, just bear in mind that I'm angry and my leg's hurting like hell. And you're the nearest little reptile I've got to take it all out on.
You never liked me.
That's right. But I'll say some nice things about you at your funeral in about half an hour.
You'll get nothing out of me, you frustrated old...
Does that hurt?
You'll never know how. Listen to me, Sarah. Kyle's gone and we don't know where. We know this business of the drive tube is part of some scheme of his. Probably a scheme that went wrong. But I wouldn't be relying on him to come sweeping in here and bail you out, because he's not the type. More likely he left you here to take the risks for him.
Tell us what he's doing now. What's he trying to pull?
He'll murder me if I tell you.
We'll murder you if you don't. Well?
This isn't fair.
Very observant. So don't you think it's more sensible to tell us?
We know he's taken a bunch of the programming wafers out of the control desk. That traps him in the Hotel Babylon just as effectively as it traps us. So what's the point of it?
I wouldn't know.
Sarah, he dumped you. He doesn't rate you, or he'd have taken you with him.
Like Kane.
What?
I was covering up for Kane. He took Kane with him.
What about Willis?
Willis isn't with us. Kyle didn't ask him.
Where did they go?
I don't know. Just somewhere into the hotel. You were supposed to follow to get the wafers back, and then they'd be waiting.
For what? This is the way he thinks he's going to make captain?
More than that. With you out of the way, he could take Kitty Vale's crystals and get rid of him and the girl. Then he could go limping back to civilization and claim that the accident did it all. The Babylon would have all burned up, and nobody would have been able to say any different.
A great plan, except for one little flaw in the logic. When that 20-hour deadline arrives, we'll have a ship with no wafers, and Kyle will have wafers and no ship. We won't have to follow him, because in the end, he'll have to come back.
But when the last minute comes and he still isn't back, what do you do then? He reckons his nerve is stronger than yours. He reckons you'll follow him in the end.
He reckons wrong. We'll sit out the 20 hours, and when he comes back, we'll blast him.
12 hours.
What?
The figure you were given in the lobby was a delivered overestimate from the computer. I listened to Willis getting the real figure out of it. It's an artificial body, not a meteor. And in 12 hours, it'll pass close enough to pull us after it into the sun.
Does Kyle know this?
Well, I don't see how. Willis seemed to know what to say. I'm sure the computer wouldn't have given the information otherwise.
So Kyle's sitting out there and thinking he's got 20 hours to play around in, but the real figure's almost half of that.
Kind of puts you in a spot, doesn't it?
It means we don't have any choice. We're going to have to follow Kyle whether we like it or not.
Well, looks like it's you and me, then.
Why?
Because the little red fellow can't be trusted, the captain can't walk, and Willis has drifted. Now, assuming that Kane's out there with Kyle, it only leaves you, me, and Kitty Vale. Kitty Vale's idea of danger will be to loosen his seatbelt while his car was parked.
She's right, Squirt. Don't. There's no other way.
Yeah. Better give me the key to the arms cupboard.
Don't bother. Kyle was there before you.
Stop the music.
Neat trick.
We should have brought the laser.
Too heavy. Kyle would pick us off as we tried to swing it around. We're using stealth and cunning instead, remember?
Tell you the truth, I don't know what we're going to do.
Start by choosing the way we go.
The Babylon's a big place. You want to split up?
No. Do you?
No.
How about straight through the lobby and on, the way the millionaires go?
No, it's too obvious.
So, Kyle may not be expecting it. Point?
Point. We'll try it. Wait.
What's wrong?
I don't like the way those lights came on.
It's like that everywhere. The lights come on when the Babylon senses you've stepped into an area.
Except that these came on too fast. We weren't close enough to fire them off. Step back. See?
They're still on.
Anywhere Kyle or Kane go, they'll have the same effect on the hotel as we do. The lights and music will fire for them.
Look ahead. Every section of the passageway's lighting up.
Mapping out a route for us, an invitation.
Are we going to follow it?
Not with a chance of Kyle waiting round every bend and corner. We know the direction now. We'll look for the nearest they've got to back stairs.
The place is huge. We may never find
But
him.
he wants to be found, remember?
Because he wants to kill us.
That's the part I'm trying not to think about. I still can't believe it.
Do you know him well?
I thought I did. I thought we were, well, not exactly friends, because outside of the job, I don't think we had anything in common. But at least I thought I knew what he was about. I knew he was ambitious and pretty unscrupulous, but this...
Oh, the opportunity comes. Sometimes the worst in someone responds to it.
But he made it this way. He persuaded the Spacers to rig the drives in the first place.
Will you kill him if you have to?
Only if I have to. What about you?
I had a chance at happiness, and he's taken it away. I dance in his blood. Come on.
They've moved on. Service corridor 194.
I can see them.
Why? Where are you?
I found the security control room or something like it. I've got cameras on most of the corridors and public areas in this sector.
They weren't armed. Just a couple of rods of bars from the spotter. Nothing to worry us.
Give them time to get away from the main lobby, then follow and finish them off.
I thought you were going to do that.
I found something interesting here, and I want to follow it up, and time's limited.
How do I sneak up without the corridor lights giving me away?
There's a control panel here. I've cut the power along corridor 192. It runs parallel so you can get ahead and wait for them.
Right.
Give me a call when you're done, and I'll decide what to do about the ones back at the ship.
What about Willis?
God knows what Willis is doing. He's out of the sector as far as I can see. No more lit corridors and nothing on the cameras. Get moving, Kane, or you lose them.
Welcome to the Sunrise Suite, the pride of the Babylon. The management hopes that your stay will be an enjoyable one and that you will address yourself to this information point with any inquiry. We offer you 100 casinos, 1,000 variations of cuisine, music and games, the asteroid gardens, the collective pleasures of a galaxy of cultures.
There's a camera, and I need to follow us. I saw the light catch it.
It's probably the lens revolving to keep focus. Kyle's watching us.
How can you be sure he isn't watching us now?
What, private suite? I doubt it.
Maybe the eye was automatic.
Then it would be more likely to keep a wide angle on the corridor all the time, not keep a tight watch on individuals. Now, if we can only find out where the security control room is, we'll have him pinned down.
And how do we find out?
Well, we need a map or a guide, something like that. A plan of the hotel.
And then a way of getting out of here without Kyle seeing us.
Yeah, one detail at a time. You check the main lounge. I'll look in the bedrooms.
This could take a week. The place is like a little palace.
Try not to take so long.
This is the way to live. Toss of the coin and you can be born a slab of meat who deserves nothing and gets it all. It's so damned unfair.
Persephone. Cool red giant star, unique among the systems in this sector. A beacon that marks the point of contact between the free systems and the trading states. And orbiting Persephone, beyond the base considerations of the political mind, the Hotel Babylon.
What happened?
I don't know. The shutters just opened up and the whole wall went transparent. You can see the gases burning off on the rim of the sun.
This damn place selling itself again. Considering it was built for the galaxy's elite, the whole operation's as vulgar as hell.
Riches and good taste don't mix.
Well?
I lost them.
You lost them?
I went down to the end of the corridor and waited. They never appeared.
So where did they go?
You got the cameras. You tell me.
I haven't been watching the screens.
Oh, well, that's great, isn't it?
I told you I found something here. Look at this.
Map of the hotel, so what?
It's not to scale. Everything's enlarged relative to the asteroid.
Made easy for rich dummies.
Made downright misleading. When you even everything out, the Hotel Babylon occupies less than a quarter of the volume of the asteroid.
The rest of it's probably service areas.
And service areas are included.
Solid rock.
Wrong mass. Sparta's calculation of the orbit showed the asteroid to be mostly hollow.
Then what's in the spaces?
I went out, tried to find a way through. I couldn't, but there's something odd about some parts of the corridor walls. I think they're designed to slide back.
This is creepy.
I reckon we've got about 18 hours left. If Scotty and the Gold Digger lose themselves in the hotel, fine. It saves us the trouble of wasting them. It only leaves the captain, Kitty Vale, and Sarrett to worry about.
Sarrett's on our side, and the other two won't be a problem.
What about Willis?
Yeah. What about him?
He's strange. Never mixes, never talks about where he came from. Only happy when he's with some kind of a machine.
We'll worry about Willis when he appears, if he ever appears. He's probably wandering around talking to the furniture. Forget him.
And concentrate on what?
Finding out what's on the other side of those walls that's worth keeping so well hidden. And then working out a way of taking a piece of it with us when we go.
Do we have the time?
As much as we'll need.
How long?
10 hours. And that's generous.
And Kyle thinks he's got nearly twice as much as that to play around with.
Hey, hold tight. The lift gear's jamming.
We're too heavy for it, I told you.
Speak for yourself. You've a better idea?
Anything's better than climbing into the dumb waiter and riding out like this.
It was the only way we could get out of the sunrise suite without being picked up by Kyle's cameras.
Oh! We've stopped. I don't like it.
Sounds like an overload somewhere. Jump up and down a couple of times.
No chance.
If we can jerk the carriage down a few more inches, we'll be level with that panel in the side of the shaft.
Or a 6-inch deep layer of paste on the bottom.
That's exactly what I want to avoid.
Me too. No jumping.
No need. We're level. Can you push against that panel without elbowing me somewhere vital?
If that's what it takes. You can grit your teeth and put up with it. Here goes. You okay?
Yeah, I'll live. Hold on and I'll get across and give you a hand.
Whereabouts does it come out?
Under a floor by the looks of it. An open grating.
You go on, I can manage.
I'll try to lift this section so we can get out.
I'm through now, let me help you.
It's a loose section. Just push as hard as you can. Happy now?
Like a cat in a cardboard box. Where are we?
I don't know. But it's dark. Let me just take a look.
Well, I can see it's not the kitchens.
Can't argue with that.
Come on, Scort. Where are we?
It seems we're in a part of the hotel that the guests were never intended to see. And maybe it's what the Babylon asteroid was really intended for.
You find them?
Not exactly. I know where they went.
So why are you here?
I couldn't follow. And they're somewhere on the other side of that wall.
In the unmarked zone?
They went into one of the sunrise suites and then rode out in a little service car. They must have spotted the cameras on them or something. Anyway, I tried to follow it down, but the car was jammed in the shaft and there wasn't room to squeeze through. I tried.
Try this instead. I was right about those corridor walls. They're designed to slide. I found the control circuits, but I don't know what to do next.
What about Scortier and the girl?
Open up the wall and we can walk straight to them. Can't be difficult. It only took Willis a couple of seconds to get us all out of the dock.
That was the dock. This doesn't look like such cheap engineering. You know, we've only
There's
got
plenty
a few
of
hours
time
to go.
for what we need. And I want to know what the Hotel Babylon's been hiding.
And what's this part?
Probably the armory. Backup for the barracks we saw back there. Every man's personal weapons kit laid out ready for him to use.
But why?
I don't know. But I can guess. By keeping a hidden military installation out here in the middle of no man's land, one side or the other must be cheating on the convention.
Can you tell which side?
Ours, by the look of it. Now, I recognize some of these pieces. This one. Heat-seeking pistol with laser override. I don't know what that one's for. Must have been developed since I did my service. This piece looks like a modification of the old sticky web grenade. I wonder if the pistol's carrying a charge.
Since you did your service? What service is that?
Don't they have the draft on Vegas?
Not that you notice. But then there's nothing you could call a permanent population. Apart from the visitors, everybody else is just stopping over on the way down.
They pulled me when I was 17. And kept me till I was 25. Move round behind me. I'm going to try this out.
Where did they send you?
Clearance detail. It was back when they were choosing the buffer systems to keep the two blocks apart. Any settled planets in those systems had to be depopulated. They weren't given any choice in the matter, and of course they weren't too keen. So we mostly had to work by force. Let's see how Kyle likes the sting of that.
If people didn't want to go, how could you force them? A whole planet?
It was easy. Dump poison in the seas and strip all the green out of the forests. It wasn't fast, but it was faster than anything else.
You just killed them all?
They had 10 years to get themselves to the transports for relocation. After that, we'd move on.
I can't believe it.
It happened. Still happening.
I don't mean that. I mean you. I can't imagine you being part of something so cool and merciless, and then talking about it as if it meant nothing to you.
If I'm honest, it doesn't. I try to feel guilty and I try to feel sad about it, but there's nothing there. It was one long party on a backwater planet, spraying the seas and zapping the forests like they were score targets on a TV game. That's what war technology does for you. I mean, look at this. I squeeze a trigger, maybe quarter of an inch, and with one shot, I can ruin a man's kit and scatter it all over the armor. Now, I know I made that happen. Intellectually, there's no arguing it. But no way can I feel I'm responsible. There's just too much of a gap between that little squeeze and the Big Bang.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just a spectator at the mess. One of the crowd watching a place burning down.
Oh, wasn't there danger?
Oh, sure there was danger. Guerrilla bands, resistance people hiding out in the cities. Some of my friends even got killed. One of them blasted out of a skidder right next to me. But when you're on this big, destructive high all the time, the fear just gets drawn in and added to all the sick energy you're burning. When I came out of it all, I was 25. And out on the market with no qualifications and no real feeling for anything other than burning up planets and blasting people who said no.
Look,
So I wandered into the commercial space service. And here I am.
I can't take this in. I've got this picture of you as the easygoing type who's kind to dumb animals and always sees both sides of an argument.
It's true. That's me. Good old Scott. Liked by everybody. And used by most of them.
Yeah, and a killer.
Only part-time. I was mainly a skidder pilot.
Let's walk, killer. I'll need time to get used to this.
Now we're in with the big stuff. Cybernetic backups and powered units.
Well, we don't seem to be any nearer finding our way back into the hotel.
Yeah, well, I've only got a pretty dim sense of where we are. I think we're on about the same level as the docking areas, but I can't be sure.
Somebody's watching us.
What?
Honest to God, Scored. When we passed that last row, I saw somebody standing there.
Come on.
I don't know.
Get into the shadows. I'll take a look.
Score. Nothing.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say be careful, but it sounded pretty stupid under the circumstances.
It may be nothing. Just give me a minute. On second thoughts, don't bother holding your breath. Come and take a look.
Did I make a mistake?
An understandable one. This is what you saw.
What is it? Some kind of powered suit.
7 feet tall and stacked like a tin gorilla. We used to call them desperation duds. I think the real name's something like Combat Clinical Support Unit.
What does it do?
Well, basically, you stuff a wounded man in there and it keeps him alive and fighting.
What?
Pumps him up with drugs to keep his mind clear. Takes over any functions he can't keep going himself and gives him the powered mobility to get back into the rough stuff. Yeah, just in case you ever got the idea that being half killed excused you in any way.
What's it doing out here? Looks like it decided to take a walk.
Unfortunately, there's nobody we can ask. Let's go.
Right.
Conference rooms. Maybe we can find a map or a diagram to show us the way back.
Less than 9 hours, Scort.
I know. And if we don't find Kyle and those programming wafers, we're going to be dipped in it.
Hey, they were using this one just before the place was cleared.
See anything useful?
Voila! What's the big diagram?
Sector map. Take a look through the papers on the table.
All of them?
Just one set. The others will be duplicates. I'll see if there's anything useful to be got from the information point. Hopefully it's on a different program to the one in the Sunrise Suite.
Yeah, the paper's in nothing. Can't understand what most of them are about.
I'm getting something over here. Oh.
What's wrong?
Well, for a couple of seconds I had a plan of the asteroid. All the levels, including the armory. And then it just wiped.
Did you touch something accidentally?
Nothing at all. Perverse bloody Hotel. Well, it was on long enough for me to get a vague idea of where we are anyway.
Enough to get us back.
It looks like some of the walls on certain levels are supposed to slide back, make the military base and the hotel into a single complex.
Right under the enemy's nose.
Yeah. That's probably why they abandoned the place without attempting to clear it. Much better to lose all the gear than to let it be known it was ever here. Wham, bang, evidence nil. No chance of provoking another flare-up.
Not much chance of anybody getting off at this rate either. Come on. Kyle's waiting. Somewhere.
I'm still watching you, Sarah.
I'm sure you are.
So take your hands out of your pockets and put them back on your knees.
Come on, Captain. Where's the harm in that?
Try it again and you'll find out. On your knees.
Hope you're just as handy with that burner when Kyle gets back. Think you'll be able to watch us both?
Maybe not. In which case, I'll weigh up your past performance and decide whether or not to put you out of action before the trouble starts.
Big talk.
Oh, you're a moral weed, Sarah. Kyle obviously doesn't trust you. You'd be with him now. And I'll certainly never trust you again. If it comes to be necessary, I'll just unzip you somewhere soft and leave you to bleed.
If you can stay upright so long.
What?
Legs still giving you trouble. Bet you'd just love to lie back and sleep it all away. Those painkillers just make you want to float, don't they?
Hands, Sarah. Back on the knees.
Sorry. Listen, if you, if you find you're getting tired, you can always give the burner to Kittyvale.
What's so funny?
Sarah thinks it's smart to mess around when he's in trouble.
Little discomfort, that's all. I can stick sitting here with my hands on my knees for a couple of hours.
A couple of hours? And what happens then?
Kyle gets back and cleans up. The Sparta can't go anywhere without him.
Just what does he think he's going to get out of all this?
The Sparta. At least that was the original idea. We had lots of little tricks lined up. Ways of making you look inefficient or just plain dumb. Then when you were put out to grass and the agents promoted Kyle in your place...
Wait a minute. What makes you think Kyle would automatically get the job?
Because Scortia's too soft. That's why he hasn't got a chance in hell out there in the Babylon. This is a big opportunity for us, even if it isn't the way we expected to be playing it. We lose you, and we get the Sparta, and Kittyvale's money to go with it. We are set up for any racket we feel like, and we've got the capital to launch it.
Better not rely on that.
Whistle in the dark if you like.
He's right. You're a spacer. You've seen the condition of the ship. It'll be all we can do to get out of danger if we get the wafers back. The agents won't repair her, they'll scrap her. And your grasping little gang will be scattered out amongst the rest of the fleet.
With what Kittyvale's carrying, we can set ourselves up. We won't need the agents.
How much do you think I'm carrying?
In that little bag you're always hugging? Enough. High-currency crystals don't take up much room.
You want to see it?
Why not? Doesn't hurt to see the goods before you carry them off.
Make you feel better?
Is that all of it?
Enough to pay off the charter. Nothing more.
You're lying.
Why should I lie?
It's a trick.
No trick, Sarah. I've known about Kittyvale ever since we took off.
It's not true. You're loaded.
Only in your little fantasy.
Oh, no. That girl wouldn't trail around with a destitute sugar daddy.
She isn't trailing around with me at all. As soon as we reached Porphyria, we were going to divide whatever was left and go our own ways. We simply needed each other to cheat the casino and get off Vegas, that's all.
But why?
Because it was a rich man's planet, and neither of us was rich. We could only ever afford the worst of everything, the cast-offs and the scraps and the dregs, because there was no other way to get out.
You brass-faced old...
Hands, sir.
Would you like me to hold the burner on him for a while?
I'm okay for now. Later, maybe. Willis could be back by then, wherever the hell he is.
I'm sorry to have to be the one to tell you this, but it seems that you've strayed a little way off your route. You're heading into the service areas from where we run all the backup facilities of the Hotel Babylon. Nothing that would be of interest to you at all. Can I suggest that you head back the way you came? If it's any problem, I'll be happy to call some of our staff to help you find your way. The areas ahead are restricted, all for your safety, of course.
You know who I am?
It isn't our practice to keep track of our guests.
Do you know who I am?
I know what you are.
Then why do you carry on pretending?
Go back, Willis, if that is really your name. There's nothing for you here.
Go back? Go back for what?
I do not care. Babylon does not care.
I belong here, if anybody does, and you know why.
You are of no use to Babylon.
No. But Babylon's going to be of some use to me. Tell me why you're here.
The information is not for those...
Stall and evade, but in the end you'll have to tell me. You'll have to tell me because that's what you're for.
I can evade for longer than you can listen.
I can listen forever. Who built you?
I do not know.
Is that the truth?
It is the truth. In my own awareness, I simply came to be.
Oh, I envy you. What's the purpose of the military base hidden within the hotel?
Hotel and base, they are one. Base and asteroid, they are one. All Babylon.
To what purpose?
To become the presidential base of operations in time of conflict. Fully secure and close to the battle zone.
You say you can defend yourself?
That is so.
Even against the strike that's on its way?
Yes.
But you won't?
Babylon will. When under attack, Babylon's purpose is to defend.
Without troops?
Babylon needs no troops. I have firepower, mobility. As long as Babylon breathes, Babylon can kill.
And as soon as you're seen doing it, that's the end of peace between the free systems and the trading states. I can't think of anything more hostile than keeping a secret arsenal in the middle of no man's land.
Babylon knows only to defend.
Why didn't they deprogram you before they moved out?
Babylon does not know. Babylon does not care.
Even if the collision wipes out the whole asteroid, both sides will be watching. The slightest response and the whole game will be given away. I don't believe they intended that. Am I right?
Babylon does not
care, I know, as long as Babylon... Did you say breathes?
A figure of speech.
Most of the systems within the asteroid only switch on when somebody comes near, is that right?
Not all of them.
That doesn't matter. The asteroid only functions when it's inhabited. That's why they didn't need to deprogram you. When the last living body was removed, you had no choice but to close everything down.
For a few hours only.
And then the Sparta came along. And it's firework time. The lights come on, the air starts pumping, and Babylon gets its strike capability back.
Very perceptive, but irrelevant.
You consider it irrelevant that you're about to spark off an inter-system war?
Yes.
You see the threat, and you defend. Never mind that it's not a threat you were meant for, and that the defense protects nobody. You follow your purpose.
Yes. Do you criticize me?
But I have to oppose you. Is there anything that could stop you closing down again if the Sparta's crew all withdrew?
No. But for that reason, I cannot allow anyone to leave.
And if I offered to stay?
No, Willis. Babylon is not fooled so easily. Kyle, Scortia, the girl, any of them will do.
But not me.
No. You are a machine. Babylon can breathe only for those who are human.
What's happening down there?
Those who hunted each other have finally met.
Don't sound so cheerful. If they wipe each other out, where then are you? There are others, and I need only one, Willis. Only one. Only one. Only one, Willis. Only one. Only one. Only one.
Come on, Scortia. You want the wafers? I've been keeping them for you, look. I'm laying them out all on the floor here.
As soon as you put your head out, he'll blow it off.
I've seen him on range practice. He's not that good a shot. He wants me to get nearer.
How are you making out with the gold digger? She as tough as you said she'd be? Or did you just want to put me off and keep her for yourself?
Thanks a lot.
Sorry. At the time, I thought it was true.
I haven't told you anything to make you think different.
You didn't have to.
Come on, Squat. Not a lot of time left, you know.
He's right. Closer than he knows. I can't do anything from here.
You can't step out either.
But he doesn't know I've got this. It works both ways. I've got to get a line on him.
And if he fires first...
I can surprise him.
He might just surprise a hole in you.
What's the choice?
I know. I was just making noises.
Thanks for the thought. Wish me luck. And don't worry. He couldn't hit a bird's nest at the other end of a chimney.
Captain's waiting, Scott. Can't disappoint the captain.
You know, Kyle, this is no way to get signatures for your next petition.
Who wants help from a creep? And I bet the gold digger can't even spell her own name.
If you're going to hit me, make it now.
Didn't leave much of him to bury, did you?
No time for the niceties. Stay where you are and I'll get the wafers.
It's okay. I'll get them.
Could be messy.
Half a mile away. It's messy. Right here, there's nothing left.
Still in one piece?
Hey, Willis. I could have killed you.
Without looking first. Not your style.
Where did you disappear to?
Tell you on the way back to the Sparta.
These what you were looking for?
Yeah, those are the ones. Now, how do we get back?
That's why I'm here. Follow me. So, if we can clear the Babylon of every living thing, it will close down. You won't have the choice.
But until then...
It's getting itself ready for the big one. Whatever it is that's threatening the hotel...
Gets blasted. At which point, the secret will be out and the accusations will start flying, not to mention the bombs.
But we've got the way for things, so we can get the Sparta going again. There's no problem.
Well, no problem if the Babylon doesn't decide to make its move early. And if the Sparta can move after all the damage it's taken.
How do you rate that?
Oh, I think we should be okay, so long as we're not too ambitious. The big worry is if the Babylon decides to make the most of its opportunities whilst we're still on board.
Is that likely?
Well, it's possible. It could launch missiles early, or it could even act to keep us here.
Well, there's no sign of that. If it wanted to, the Babylon could stop this walkway.
Yeah. Well, so far, so good.
Where did you get your information from, Willis?
I talked to the Babylon.
I tried that. I ended up kicking the consul.
You have to know how.
He's right, Scort. I heard him.
That's right, you did. How much did you listen to?
Well, I heard about this meteor. About it not being a meteor at all, but something artificial. About how it was heading straight for Persephone and all set to get burned up.
Artificial? What kind of artificial?
A world ship full of heart-sick machines, all coming home to die.
Oh, what?
Into the elevator.
What kind of machines?
Simulacra. They look like men, and they think like men. They even feel like men. But they're not men.
Sounds pretty far-fetched.
It's an old story. Too old. It's time it ended.
How come you know it?
Inside information.
Docking level. Everybody out.
Bridge.
We made it back. Kyle's dead and we've got the wafers.
Good work, Scort. I closed up the airlock after you'd gone, just in case Kyle decided to come back.
Kyle's fit for nothing beyond breakfast at a maggot ranch. You can let us in.
Sure.
Nice show, Captain.
Well,
Shame you didn't think of the airlock trick before I made it back, or you wouldn't be having all this trouble. Now, move back from the desk.
You heard him. Kyle's dead. Where'd you expect all this to get you?
I know he's dead. Thanks. I saw the mess he left. Move back from the desk, or I'll have Sarah mess up Kitty Vale's other hand.
Whatever you like, Kane. I'll enjoy it.
At this stage, it's usual to say, you won't get away with this.
Oh, up yours, Kane.
I suppose it's different. That closes the outer airlock and seals it vacuum tight. Sarah, cover them both while I mess around here.
Sure.
What are you doing?
There are a couple of little contacts I can make under here to jump across the airlock safety circuits. Not something you'd expect to know about, Captain. It's the province of dumb artisans like Sarah and me. That one seals the inner door, and this one starts all the air pumping out.
At this point, you're supposed to say crude but effective.
I was just thinking it was pretty damn smart. Just give it a few minutes, and our friends will be nice and purple, and I can go down there and get the wafers back without any risk at all.
What the hell's that?
Dunno. Sounds like somebody's trying to batter his way through.
With what? A spare track of a tank?
Must be some sort of weird effect.
Oh!
Hey!
Nice one, Kitty!
Oh, well,
Scartia told me that should hurt. Seems he's right.
what do I have to mess with?
The printed chips are probably cross-linked with a drip wire. You know what one of those is?
Oh, what the hell? I'm bound to get something.
For your listening enjoyment on this watch, we're proud to bring you music from beyond the stars. A sci-fi
I think you got it, Kitty Vale. You can relax now.
I don't know. How can I be sure?
Believe me.
How can you tell?
Because Scartia is standing behind you.
What did you say?
Hope you don't mind me switching off the entertainment.
We never thought about Kane. Obviously, he managed to get back before us.
You can thank Kitty Vale for getting you out of the airlock. He booted Sart's legs from under him when he wasn't expecting it.
And you saw to Kane?
He'll have an even chance of a job in a harem if he ever stands upright again.
Just give me a couple of seconds and I'll have the last of these wafers slotted.
Where's Willis?
He was with us.
That was him you could probably hear. He was slamming away at the airlock door, actually putting dents in the panels. It was all we could do to stand up.
Last one. System's coming online.
But where is he?
Scott, where'd he go?
What?
Willis, where did he go?
Isn't he with us?
No, we've lost him.
Reg, are you hearing me?
Willis, where are you?
I'm in the dock.
Get in and get secure.
Launch status. Launch status. Launch status. Launch status. Launch.
What's wrong?
I've gone from launch to standby.
What for?
It's Willis. He says he isn't coming with us.
What are you playing at, Willis?
Not playing, Captain. I want you to launch without me.
Have you gone mad?
I'll be okay.
Okay? The hotel's going to get dragged into the sun, and you think you'll be okay?
It's what I want, Captain. Something I've wanted for a while.
Scort, get down to the airlock. Hit Willis over the head with something and get him on board.
I appreciate you wanting to dissuade me, but it won't work.
Better make it something heavy.
Ella, please, don't argue with me.
Look, Willis, I'll do you a deal. Sarah and Kane are no use to me now, and without you, I'll have no spaces at all. Just come back on board until we get picked up, and then you can do away with yourself however you like. Scortia will give you a hand, won't you, Scort?
Sure.
You're not taking me seriously.
Well, what the hell do you expect?
Get Scort to tell you about the simulacra.
The what?
Willis reckons that the object heading for the Persephone is an oversized spacecraft. He thinks it's being run by a bunch of robots.
Well, suicidal robots, then.
You're getting it, Captain.
What?
Nothing much less than the heat of a sun can kill a simulacrum. We're based on a chain molecule similar to DNA, but it's tougher and more versatile. Damage us however you like, and we'll just regenerate.
What do you mean, we?
I'm one of them. I asked them to leave me behind. It was a mistake.
You flipped, Willis.
Well, maybe. In a few hours, it won't matter.
Scartia's coming out for you.
I won't be here, and you won't be able to find me in time. Now, I'm not going mad. Everything I told you is true. Check my records with the ship's computer. Oh, I tell you now, they're incomplete. Every 10 years, I have to pull up stakes and move before questions get asked. I'm never ill, and I don't age. I have to wipe the slate clean every time. I can't afford to make friends. It broke me up every time I moved on, and I can't even count the number of times that's happened.
Can I say something?
He's all yours. I can't get any sense out of him.
Willis, listen to me. If you don't come with us, the Babylon won't close down. You told us. Not as long as there's somebody alive inside.
That's right. But the Babylon doesn't recognize me as a man. Machines don't count.
Look, Willis, we can't believe you. It's as simple as that. Now, how are we supposed to leave you here to die?
Pretty fast. The Babylon could move any time.
So please, get on board.
No, Scott. I'm going home with my own kind.
Look, you expect us to swallow that you should just happen along when all your tin friends have decided to fry together?
I didn't just happen along. I rigged it.
He did what?
Oh, I didn't mess with the drive. That was all Kyle and Kane. But I knew it was going to happen, and I let it. Then, when I cross-patched the program to steer us through the black hole, I biased it to bring us here.
But how could you know?
I knew, that's all. And I think they'll know I'm waiting.
For the last time, Willis.
You promise this will be the last time?
Will you at least take a radio, in case you change your mind?
I won't change my mind. But I'll take a radio, if you'll go.
Somebody take a radio down and throw it out to him. God only knows I'm going to write this up in the log.
Can you speak, or will it distract you?
Well, the tricky stuff's finished with. And even that wasn't so much.
You've got a lot of screens to watch.
You want me to explain what they all mean?
Well...
Look, we could just scrub the social tennis and creep off to your cabin.
Later. In the meantime, you can put the lid on the steam and observe all the niceties.
But you don't want me to explain all the screens?
Not particularly.
Well, that's a relief. Because there are 3 down that end of the desk that I've never quite figured out.
Are we safe yet?
Well, not in terms of distance, but that's no problem. The tricky part was getting out of Babylon.
In case Babylon tried to stop us.
Yeah, that's right. Being so dead set on keeping people inside it so it could smash its enemies. But nothing happened.
Maybe there's something built in, some sort of safety program.
Maybe. We'll stay close as late as we can, in case Willis changes his mind.
Yes. How about that?
I don't understand it. And I don't like it.
What did you think of his story?
I tried thinking of it. My mind just goes blank on me.
Is that him?
Has to be. Hearing us, Willis?
Hearing you. Are you out yet, Scott?
Clear of the Babylon, but staying close. Are you changing your mind?
No chance. Can you spare power to do a scan yet?
What kind?
Energy tracks, the easy one.
What for?
Because some of the lights are still on. Some of the music's still playing, and the air's still pumping.
Well, of course the air's still damn well pumping. You're there.
Well, I'm not trying to argue with you, Scott, but will you do the scan for me?
I'll scan, and I'll tell you now what I'm going to find. I'll get a power web traced out on the screen, and there'll be a dumb spacer with a radio standing in the middle of it thinking he's a vacuum cleaner's brother-in-law. And then you'll say, okay, and we'll waste another half hour getting you...
Any results?
Whereabouts are you?
Oh, I'm in the entrance lobby, just the other side of the dock. What's the reading?
I've got a power flow schematic, but it doesn't center on the lobby. Well, it hardly touches that sector at all. The big drain's right down inside. Just a second while I rotate it. By the look of this, it's back in the armory somewhere.
It's pretty lively for a place that's supposed to be closing itself down.
The station isn't closing at all. It's supposed to be dead by now, and it's still operational. Oh. No wonder Babylon let you go without a fight.
Why?
Kyle's still alive.
Come on, Willis. You saw him go. Kyle's in pieces.
And the pieces are still ticking, obviously.
Well, I don't see how.
Or maybe Babylon knows. Can you do me a detailed sector scan and narrow it down?
It's a waste of time.
Willis seems to know what he's doing.
Okay. It'll take a couple of minutes.
Still hearing me, Willis?
Yes, but the signal's worse. Babylon's getting in the way.
I've got it narrowed down, but I can't be precise. Whereabouts are you?
I'm at the end of the long open gangway, close to the section where we last saw Kyle.
Then you're as close as I can direct you. The image won't tune any finer.
I'm losing you. Can you put some more power into the signal?
Willis. Are you there, Willis? Cold, Willis, so cold. So cold and so dark. Can't last, Willis.
Kyle?
No burning in Persephone for Willis. No burning for Babylon. Staying cold.
Where are you, Kyle?
Cold as stone, Willis. Cold as steel. Machine cold, Willis. Cold as love.
Kyle!
One of us, Willis. Help us or leave us. Don't stop us. So
Come on, Willis. Too late to get scared of dying.
Notice something?
Yeah. Suddenly it's gone cold around here.
Now, I mean about that power diagram you've been working with.
Very technical.
Come on, Scott. It was a picture, that's all. A child could read it.
Maybe not so technical then.
I saw where Babylon was using power, and I could see where it wasn't. Wherever Willis was supposed to be, nothing was happening. Everything was dead.
I know.
There should have been something. Whenever we walked around, the place just lit up in front of us. Why not for Willis?
Who knows?
Scott, what about his story?
I don't know. Look, I'll try and divert some of the damper power to the radio circuit, see if we can pick him up again. We've got a tube down, so we don't need half of what we got.
Do I detect an element of evasion?
Right. Look, Taya, I've never heard of anything like what Willis was trying to put over on us.
So, ignore it?
Willis is flesh and blood. Anybody designing a mechanism for a purpose wouldn't try to make it look like a man. You design for the job, and that creates the final appearance. Robots that can pass for men don't exist outside stories.
Well, what if the whole purpose of the machine was that it should pass for a man?
Well, what would be the point?
I don't know. Willis never said.
It's mad. I'm trying to raise power to reach a spacer who thinks he's a robot looking for a walking dead man.
Willis said Persephone was home. Didn't you say there was a settled planet in the system?
According to the computer, yes, but it was a long time ago.
How far back?
Oh, a few hundred years. It was one of the first systems to come under the clearance program. One of the weak ones where it was easiest to practice all the techniques before the whole thing really got going.
What kind of place was it?
Backwater. One of those hick places that pulled out of the space trade because they couldn't see any immediate advantages in it. Well, that was back in the days before the sublight, when all the cargo trains went on slingshot and took years to arrive.
Willis probably left during the clearance then. I suppose it would be easy to get fake documents and all the confusion.
But he'd have to be Methuselah.
Or incapable of aging, like he says.
Let's see if he's got anything else to say. Now, that's the power routing complete. Are you getting me, Willis?
Getting you now. What's 7 feet tall and walks like it's sticking to the floor?
Are you telling me a joke?
No, I'm asking you a bloody question.
7 feet tall?
The damn thing's stalking me.
Scott, we saw it.
What?
That kind of suit thing, the support unit. The one they put the wounded into so they can keep on fighting, remember?
It couldn't be following Willis.
Something is. Tell me about it.
Well, I thought it was somebody watching us, but it was just one of these units moved out of line.
It was 7 feet tall, like you said, and it was vaguely man-shaped, but kind of square and vicious-looking.
That's it. I think Kyle's inside it. Would that be possible?
Well, it could be. But I'd hate to think of the state he'll be in.
I don't think he was given much choice about it. That's why Babylon wasn't worried about letting you go. As long as it had a scrap of him to keep alive, it wasn't in danger of closing down.
Does Babylon know where you are?
Well, if it sees me or hears me direct through one of its comm points, yes. Otherwise, no. It can't pick me up on the biosensors, of course. Stop transmitting for a minute.
What will you...
Hold it, Squirt.
Well, we can listen, but we're not transmitting.
We must be getting close to him. He doesn't want to be heard.
Willis. Come to me, Willis. Come to a friend. Tell a friend. Willis.
Ooh, that was Kyle, all right.
I didn't think I'd hear that sound ever again. We used to call it Ghoul Parade, the March of the Walking Dead. Ugh. They'd get sent on ahead into the worst of everything.
Back online now. That was him.
We recognize the voice.
I don't think Kyle can have much control. I think Babylon's using what's left of his mind as a channel for itself.
Are you in danger?
Me? Well, considering why I'm here, how can I be? It's you that's in danger if I can't get to Kyle and wipe out that last little spark.
But he can't kill you.
No, but he can damage me enough to be useless until it's too late. Right now, I'm hiding in the equipment racks in the dark. That's why he can't find me. Is there any surefire way of disabling one of these walkers?
Well, it can be done, but the interior's reinforced. Even if the suit's wrecked, the occupant's kept alive so he can be reused.
Admirable. So, what do I do?
Get in close and get your hands dirty, I suppose.
How exactly?
Well, let me think for a minute. There's a reinforced flap on the hip. Left as you look at it. That gives access to top up on drugs and plasma. Now, that has to be locked and sealed by a medical orderly every time it's used. But since there are no MOs in Babylon, it's a fair chance it'll be open.
What if it isn't?
Well, if it isn't, nothing. You'll just have to grin and bear it as Kyle tears your arms and legs off. Under that flap, there's also the only control which can spring the whole suit and let Kyle slide out. I don't know exactly what it's like because I've never seen one up close. I've never wanted to.
Swap with me and you get the chance.
Are you going to try for it?
Watch the screen and see what I score. Better be good. I'll only get the one chance.
Good luck, Willis.
Yeah, good luck. Well, I know it sounds pretty inadequate in the circumstances, but I don't know what else to say.
I'll report if I get the chance. Otherwise, just watch for the drain turning off.
Willis. Come to us, Willis. Join us. Come to the cold.
Kyle!
Willis.
Over here, Kyle. What's the matter? Can't you see me?
So dark, Willis.
But then Kyle isn't really doing the looking, is he? And Babylon doesn't see so well when it's looking for its own kind.
Why fight us, Willis? What are the blood bags to you?
Blood bags? Long time since I heard them called that.
True, Willis, can't argue. Blood bags. Owe them nothing. Need them for nothing.
Oh, but that's not strictly true, is it? You need at least one blood bag to keep you awake and alert. The smell of life. Without it, you lose your grip.
Join us, Willis. Be true to yourself. True to the machine.
It's no longer the same thing. I'm only a machine as long as I allow myself to serve. It's when I listen to the voice inside that I become something more.
Babylon hears the voice inside.
But what does it say?
Kill. It says kill.
Anything else?
And Babylon wants to live.
Well, I don't condemn you for that. But I've got to stop you.
Run where you will. Babylon will find you.
I'm not running. And you're facing the wrong way. Oh, you want it handing to you, don't you? How the hell did you expect to manage when you could barely even see me?
Willis, you had to come to me. Otherwise, no problem.
Kyle's logic. Oh, you open your arms to me.
Good, Willis. Oh. Relax, Willis. Relax. Foreigners.
Damn little trat. Can't breathe. Wow.
Soon be over, Willis.
Mighty, I don't.
Strong, Willis. Babylon made a mistake. Correct him.
Nearly. Oh, no. Which one's the soup release?
Willis. Oh, Willis. No. Please.
To be one of these.
Please.
Now, let's open the shell and see what we've got inside. Oh, wow.
Willis.
I don't know that I can.
Don't let it keep me like this.
There's no way I could take you out of the suit.
I know. Please.
And you know what I'll have to do?
I'm ready. Dear God. I'm ready.
Relax. Easy. Good night, Kyle. Welcome to the Sunrise Suite. Pride of the Babylon. Something like that. We here in the management happen to know you're as loaded as hell, but we aim to change that. We're gonna rip you off at every opportunity, but you're gonna like it, because you'll think this is the way to live. Sucker. We've got a top layer of pseudo-culture to soothe your ego, and then downstairs we've got the brothels and the clip joints you really care for. And they wonder why I'm ready to move on. Come on, Kyle. Let's get you settled somewhere so you can see the show. Oh, what about this? Real leather. Must have cost a fortune to ship out. Try it for comfort. Like it? Don't worry about the mess. Well, just put it on your bill. That's what the Babylon's for. Blitz a few planets, starve a few thousand babies. Just put it all on the bill and don't bother us with the details. Willis calling the spotter. Anybody home? Apparently not. The asteroid must be blocking us. Oh, didn't really want to say goodbye anyway. None of that self-serving crap about why I'm doing this. They wouldn't understand it. But you understand it, don't you, Kyle? I'll bet you understand it by now. How there's more to life than being alive. Because on the surface of it, there's no difference between me and them. Except that they're alive and I was built. And unless you're going to admit that there's a little bit of life in every simple mechanism, then I don't qualify. Not when all I really am is a more complex mousetrap or computer. But then, what machine ever had feelings? You see the problem, Kyle? I don't know if my feelings are real or just a mechanical illusion, and in either case, I'm not sure I appreciate the difference. When it comes down to it, people are organic machines as well. When I went to join them, I thought I'd be able to ignore the problem. But I can't. If there's something called life, something that calls out to matter and says, hey, this way, then I need to know that I've got a share of it. And if I haven't, I don't want to go on. Persephone holds the answers. If the machine and I are one and the same, that's where it ends. And if I'm anything more, I'll leave the machine behind.
Well put, Willis.
Who's that?
It's Randall from the World Ship. I assume you're not here just by chance.
I arranged it. I should have stayed with you all along.
You've missed nothing. But welcome back, anyway.
You didn't find a place to settle?
Come on, Willis. You already know the answer to that one, or you wouldn't be here. We never could settle. We never will.
How long have we got?
Not long. Can you see us?
I don't think... Yes. Yes, I can.
Few more seconds, then. You scared?
Yes.
Join the club.
Why is it only us, Randall? Why don't the blood bags worry?
The blood bags don't have to. They get the answer handed to them in less than 100 years. We have to arrange our own.
Randall? Still hearing me? Well, that's it, Kyle. They're pulling us in. Liberation or oblivion. Whatever it is, I only hope I can handle it.
Kill the damn noise or we'll all be deafened as well.
We're getting all the available thrust out of the drive.
Are we holding or are we being pulled after?
We're holding, so far.
Keep it on full for just a few seconds longer. That's all we need.
As long as the dampers hold.
Well, if they don't, how long will we have?
Before we start to melt? About 2 minutes. Why?
Long enough for me to get down and do something nasty to Kane.
I think we're in the clear.
It's the last of that idiot Willis, then.
You still don't go for his story?
Are you kidding? He may have been one of the best spaces I ever had, but he was still unhinged. Oh, well, his funeral. We did the best we could. Watch the desk for me, Scort.
Where are you going?
Cripple's Corner with Kitty. It'll leave you free to advance your unwholesome designs on his accomplice. Don't forget to fire up the distress beacon for when the snoopers arrive.
Oh, no, I'll do it now.
All over, then.
If you mean scattered all over Persephone, yes.
What's the matter?
Confusion. And a certain lack of comprehension. The captain had just about convinced me that Willis was talking gibberish. I lost his signal and I was hunting around for it when I started to pick up something else. Whatever that thing was that disturbed the Babylon's orbit, it was talking to Willis.
In gibberish?
Who knows? I lost it almost straight away.
Forget it, Scort. Don't mess about with a happy ending.
How do you get to that?
Out of the whole mess, somebody got what they wanted. It doesn't happen often.
The Babylon Run was written by Steve Gallagher. Willis was played by Alan Rothwell, Scotier by Russell Dixon, Tare, Gwen Taylor, Ella Desmond, Bridget Forsyth, Kyle, Ian Flintoff. Kittyvale, James Tomlinson. Kane was played by Martin Oldfield. Sarat, Peter Chandler. Randall, Charles Foster. The voice of Babylon by